perfect. Yeah, you walk that walk, watch the miles go by. You're so picture perfect.
Welcome back, everybody, and I am welcoming Jenny from Bravo and Blaze. Hello.
Hi, Erica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good to see you.
You too. I'm so excited. As soon as I saw where you were, you got to tell everyone where you just were. I was like, you got to come back on the pod and we got to discuss.
Yes. So on Tuesday, I took a trip to New York City and attended the Summerhouse season 9 finale watch party. And basically, we just saw the episode a day early. But then after, well, let's see, they played a little clip of Next Gen NYC, and it made me
Ooh.
gasp because apparently one of the guys on the cast who's straight, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe cut that out. This guy on the cast, he starts dating Chloe Marks, Brooks Marks' sister.
Oh, interesting.
So there's like a little tension going on there. And I was like, oh my God, this might be better than I thought. But then we watched the finale and then got to see the preview of the trailer or the trailer for the reunion, which looks good.
Oh, so do we know if it's a 2-parter or a 3-parter?
I believe it's 2 parts, and they also announced that there's going to be a secrets revealed episode after the reunion. So similar to like Vanderpump Rules.
Okay, good. Because first of all, I always feel like those are juicy. Like when they used to do them on Jersey, they were always hilarious. And I'm like, we should have just left this in the show.
Yeah.
And when I was on Instagram, I was looking because, when we watched the finale, we had already seen some teasers at the beginning of the season. I was like, okay, where's the part when Paige talks to Amanda and Lindsay, like, oh, I caught you texting other bitches referring to Craig. And I'm like, where was that last night? I was like,
Yep.
am I crazy?
I asked them right away. Well, actually, Gibson John was there and he noticed it and he pointed it out. So then we asked Bravo and they're like, oh, yeah, maybe it's in the secrets revealed because there's also another clip that was shown where I think Lindsay was giving like some kind of simulator to simulate labor pain.
Contractions, yes.
Yeah. And they didn't show that in this season either. So that might be in the secrets revealed.
I know. And sometimes I feel like I have caught on shows, they have showed us stuff and then it's never in the show.
Yeah. It's not the first time. And it's so funny how Bravo thinks that like we're not going to notice.
Yeah, like we notice everything. You can't get anything past all of us.
No, not at all.
So what Summerhouse cast members were there?
So after we watched everything, Kyle, Carl, and Jesse came in. And they came on stage. They did like a little game where they were paired with people who volunteered. And so they had to, they gave like a cup with different words that were related to Summerhouse. And then I think it was the Bravo Leb who had to get the person to guess what word they were saying. And I think Kyle did really bad. Kyle was the worst. I don't even know if he got one right. Or his team at least. But then I think Jesse and Carl both got 3 right. So their partners won like a little Bravo merch or something like that.
Oh, that's fun. I'm like kind of surprised we got Jesse without West, and I don't expect Emerald to be there.
No, actually, you know what's really sad? Excuse me. The day after, so yesterday, I was on Instagram and I looked at Emerald's stories and I guess his father passed away that night of the watch party.
Oh no.
I don't know if he was like supposed to be there and like this happened, but yeah, he wasn't there.
Oh, that's sad. I feel like we didn't get to know him at all this season because he was too busy having like his sex parties like every weekend. And did you find it interesting? So the other week they were playing old episodes from last season and Jesse did bring like a girl home one time. They got in the hot tub and stuff. So we fully saw her. So she must have signed like, yes, I give you my permission to be on TV. Nobody signed that with Emerald.
Yeah. And I want to know why, because the other girls who have gone home with some of the guys have signed the release, like you said. So I wonder, I almost feel like maybe Emerald doesn't want them to be on. Like, I don't know. Is
Maybe.
that a possibility? Because I know if I was in that situation, I don't think I'd be like, hey, you want to be on the show? Like, after
Yeah.
we hook up, like it just feels like a very strange conversation, right?
And maybe it's because, like, I feel like those people were literally coming there just to have sex with him, not get to know him and, like, make a quick escape. I think some of the other people were like, "No, I wanna, like, hang out and, like, be on TV," and
Yeah. I got to see his moves in person. I want to see what he's got that gets these ladies to just go with him.
I don't think we're gonna see him next season. That's
I
just,
don't
like,
think so
my
either.
personal opinion because, like, he didn't make a connection with anyone. When he wasn't there for a couple episodes, it's like we didn't even care nor notice.
Well, he was cut out of the last episode, I think. Not the
I did read
finale.
that.
Yeah, but the one before
Yeah, the
that,
one
because there's
before.
pictures of him sitting next to Carl and
It's
he
weird.
wasn't on the show at all. It was weird, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that's a bad sign, and I know this isn't always true because there's only so many chairs at the reunion, but he's the
Mhm.
last chair, so it's like, yeah, it's 'cause you're going home.
And also the reunion photos came out. He was not in the full cast picture, but we heard
Interesting.
before the pictures came out that he left the reunion early, and I guess that picture was taken, like, at the very end. So, I don't know. I'm guessing, like, he just comes out for part of the reunion?
Which is weird because he was a full-time cast member
Yeah, it
to
is
only
weird.
be for part do you think they're gonna have Bailey come to the reunion?
No, I think Bailey is the one who just ghosted Bravo and was like, "I'm not showing up anymore."
So, I heard that like, she would go back to the city and kinda give spoilers and talk
Oh,
trash. So,
yeah.
I kinda thought it was, like, Bravo being like, "Oh, you're actually not allowed back."
Oh, really? I thought they confronted her about it and she just, like, ghosted them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We
because
need her on a
I
pod.
wanna see that. I wanna know what she was saying, and I also want them to be like, "Hey, were you telling people in the city that we did XYZ?" Like, I wish they showed
Yeah.
that.
Well, and I thought it was interesting, like, she came in right away with Lexi, and then Lexi kinda, like,
Mhm.
left her, and it's like, "No, you guys are the 2 new girls, you should stick together." So maybe she also was like, "Oh, ew," she's like, "Leaving me for this dude day 1, like,
Maybe. Yeah, that's true because Jesse and Wes, when they came in, let's be honest, they weren't friends with anyone, right? They were like production
Yeah, they,
thing.
like, say, like, "Oh, Kyle's friends with Wes." It's like, no, Kyle met Wes, like, 1 time and probably suggested him for the show.
Yeah.
Like
I
like, they
don't
tried to
feel
say
like
Amanda and Lexi.
oh, yeah, yeah, that's right. They, like, knew each other, which is
They're like, "They
fine.
didn't, though."
That's fine, but I don't know, like, I can see 2 people, especially girls, coming in together and kinda being like, "You're obviously kind of like you're the newbies. You're
Mhm.
difference between you and the rest of the cast." So, I feel like, yeah, maybe for Bailey, when she saw that Lexi and Jesse were hooking up, like, she didn't feel like she had, like, I don't know, maybe she didn't feel comfortable anymore?
Yeah, because I don't think that, like, Sierra, Amanda, Paige, Lindsay are, like, mean, but it's just hard to, like, get close with them because they're so close and have
Yeah,
had years on everyone else. Because like, I
yeah.
don't think they would have shut Lexi out if
No.
she really wanted to lay around in her pajamas with them and bond,
Yeah.
but she, like, forfeited that, in my opinion. I go back and forth. It's like ping pong with her and Jesse right now with all the podcasts because it's like he's talking bad about her and then she's talking bad about him, and it's like, "Wait, I don't know who to side with."
Oh,
You're
I'm
both
siding
wrong.
with Lexi for sure.
Yeah, if I had to, like, gun to head pick one, I guess I would pick her more, but, like, I am like, "No, he kinda did have a point in the season finale." He's like, "I love when he broke the 4th wall," and he's like, "We're on a reality show. I had to talk about you," and I'm like, "True." I mean, he kinda, like, did. Like, the camera people are probably like, "Alright, you're gonna go in this room and talk to Wes, and you need to kinda talk about
Right.
Lexi." What's he
Yeah.
supposed to say? No?
I know.
Like,
I know, I just wish he didn't say we're on a reality show.
I
I didn't
know.
like it. I like when the fourth wall is broken, but not in that way. Not in the way
Yeah.
that Jesse did it, because it was like if he like looked at the camera maybe and was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
something else, it would have felt like a
I
little
think it was
more
like
organic, but it like
yeah.
almost taints the rest of his time on camera, because it's like now we
Yeah.
know that Jesse's had this in the back of his mind, and like we know that that's in the back of everyone's mind, but we don't want to hear it, you know?
I know, I know. It's like, I think he was running out of things to say, and he was drunk, and I think he was just like, "This is so uncomfortable and weird," and it's
Yeah.
like the last party, and it was like him and West's party.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing with Lexi was weird. Like her even airing out their issues with the group, I thought was like, that was a lot. I don't think I would have the balls to do that. So that's why I kind of like Lexi for doing that, because I'm like, that's pretty
Yeah.
bold. And she's so young and she's new. She doesn't have, like a sidekick, Bailey, anymore. So
Gabby kinda turned into her sidekick, don't you feel like at the end?
I maybe I didn't really notice that. I feel like Gabby was in her own world and not really a part of the group that much. She was just kind of there.
Agreed. So,
Yeah.
on the finale, like, when they sat down and had the sponsored sandwiches with Lindsay, which I feel like, thank God she finally got a sandwich sponsorship. Like, that was just only fitting for her.
It's about time.
Um, I feel like Gabby was like, "Oh, I've had no storyline, nothing this whole season. I'm gonna, like, jump in and defend Lexi against or against Jesse so that I can, like, get in the mix." And then
Yeah.
West was like, Gabby never talks about her relationships." And I'm like, "True, like, I know nothing about her except that, like, she has a sister and, like, her parents moved to Texas or something. Like, that's all I know about
I
her.
know. Same.
I don't even really remember what she does for work."
I don't know either. But you know what's funny about Gabby kind of jumping in there and like trying to do something to be
Yeah.
relevant? West kind of did the same exact thing,
I
because
mean,
what has
truth.
he done all season? And then he's like, oh, well, I better get in there too. It felt very
He's been scared to talk to
desperate.
Sierra. That was his storyline all season. But they kinda made, like, a truce on the last episode, which, like, I'm like, "Thank God," because you know what? We have bigger fish to fry, honestly, with this Lexi and Jesse stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Sierra has changed for me, and I don't know if it's in a good way or a bad way. I think the traders changed her 100%, because she
You
even
think?
came in. She's like, I'm going to put my dick on the table and call out
Yeah.
Wes. And I was like, ooh, this is traders energy and I love it.
Yeah.
But then I think the traders may have made her a little numb to some emotions, because
Yeah.
when it came to Lexi, it's weird because in the finale, she's like sweeping those girls out and she's like, I'm a girl's girl first, which
That
I
was funny.
love. I
Yeah.
love that. But then other times I think she was on a podcast saying, like, I don't really care if I see Lexi ever again, or not those exact words, but something along those lines. And I was just like, this is not the Sierra I love. And it was hurting my feelings.
I know. So I think it's because, like, if you think about it, we're watching this is almost a year ago. So this was, like,
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend.
Mhm.
We're now going into Memorial Day weekend, and I'm like, I think a lot has happened behind, like, social media or,
Yeah.
like, texting that Lexi has, like, made Sierra upset. Like, remember when she made up that
Yeah.
whole, like, hoopla, like,
About her
"Oh, her and
birthday.
Jesse didn't come on my birthday." It's like, no offense, girl, like, I don't think any of them are gonna push their schedules aside to go to
Right.
your birthday party, because I don't think you spoke more than 10 words to Paige the whole summer. You think she's gonna clear her schedule to go to your birthday party?
I know. I wouldn't even expect anyone to come to a birthday party if I threw like, I don't think I would even throw myself a birthday party, but if I did, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
"Why didn't you come to my birthday party? And where
If
did
I
you go
became
instead?"
close with them, I would. You know what I
Maybe,
mean?
yeah, but
Like,
even
if
then, I'd be
Jesse
like,
had a birthday party, like, I think Sierra, Amanda, Kyle, West, and Carl, and maybe Lindsay would be there. Like, if Jesse had one.
probably.
Like, I think they would be there.
But would they have gone last year when he was just a one season cast member?
Maybe not. I think it speaks volumes, like, when the cameras go down, like, who's still hanging out. Like, clearly
Yeah.
we know West and Jesse are friends and they hang out.
Yeah.
You think they're not?
No, I do. I think
Oh,
they
oh.
are real friends. I think they're buddies, but like I just roll my eyes at them because I feel like they're like a little boys club and not in a good
I
way.
know.
Like
I know.
it's giving the two Toms and Jacks from Vanderpump
Yes.
Rules. Like, oh, well, didn't Tom Schwartz even say to Brittany, like, well, if Jax did cheat, I still wouldn't tell you the truth.
Yes. I mean, bros before hoes. Like, they take that to the grave.
I don't like that. I think that's so messed up. And I feel like Wes and Jesse are those kind of guys.
Well, and they should look to their future because look at those 3. Well, is Tom Sandoval still with his girlfriend? That they had that nutty time, though. I mean, Schwartz is divorced and so is Jack. So don't do total bros before hoes because look at their life.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be any of those guys.
I definitely wouldn't wanna be Jax. He, like, actually, like, he does have actual problems, and it's really scary and sad. Like, do you watch the after show for The Valley?
Of course. And actually at the Summerhouse watch party, they were going around the room doing Bravo hot takes. And my Bravo hot
Oh.
take was the Valley does not need Jax Taylor. And I think a lot of people agreed.
Truth, because we're gonna get him back next week, and I'm like, "No." I made, like, a funny meme, and it was the clip where Jesse's screaming into the pillow,
Oh
and it was, like,
gosh.
me remembering that we're getting Jax on our
That's
screens
right.
next week.
No, really, he's insufferable. I check out mentally. I don't even listen to what he says.
And that when I knew, like, there's actually, like, he's harassing Brittany and is mental, when he was calling her when she was filming the after show,
Oh yeah,
she's
I
like,
posted that.
"Stop talking." And he was like,
That
"Oh,
was
I just, like, ran
crazy.
out of gas." It's like, I don't care.
That
Like,
was psychotic.
that was psychotic.
Insane.
That's why I'm like, "Please fill that medication," and it's really sad. Like, there really is something wrong with him, and the fact that he didn't get help sooner when we
Yeah.
also heard about that, it was
Yeah.
in their junk drawer, his prescription, and then on top of that, uh, like, being bipolar, but then taking cocaine, that has to totally
I can't
mess with your
imagine.
brain.
Yeah. I actually wanted to look up more on what bipolar really is because I don't know how that like what the symptoms are and I don't know how medication helps. So I don't know how to gauge like is Jax really spiraling or is he purposely not taking his medication? Like what is this part of his illness or is he like intentionally not taking his medication? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So bipolar is, like, usually, like, your high highs and low lows, but see, that could be also like cocaine, like, okay, when he was on
Yeah, how do
cocaine,
you
you could be all
know?
crazy and high.
Yeah, how do you know it's like a chemical thing versus like a mood thing? Or is that
So I
the
guess they
same?
did tests when they were there. They probably did blood tests, and maybe they looked up, like, his family,
Yeah, I need to learn more
medical
about that
records, and
because
everything.
I almost feel like because we know this information, I almost feel like we have to go back and watch everything again to see like, okay,
Yeah.
at what point could
It's
he have
just so
seek
hard.
some help, you know?
It's just so hard since we now even though we pretty much 99.9% were putting 2 and 2 together that he was doing cocaine all those years, it's now hard to be like, "Okay, well, was that your cocaine or was that your bipolar?"
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how to take everything we know about Jax Taylor, knowing this information now, like, because we saw 10 years of him on reality TV. And yes, we
Yeah.
suspected things, but we didn't know what we know now. And so it almost makes me want to go back.
Do you think it's, like, insane that they're accusing Danny of being, like, an alcoholic?
I don't like the word alcoholic. And I don't think people should give that label to anyone. I do think it's okay to be like, hey, just so you know, like, well, for Jasmine and her fiance, they absolutely have every right to say something to him and be like, you need to be held accountable for your actions, regardless of whether you were drunk, because that was not cool. And I think Jasmine's not getting closure on that, and that's why she's still kind of mentioning it. But it's a touchy subject, and I feel like both sides, I can see both sides of this argument. I can see Nia and Danny's side, but then I can also see, and I know people don't like Janet, but like I can kind of see where Janet's coming from. I know on social media, people are like so upset that Janet tried to use her example with whoever she dated who had a substance abuse problem. Yeah. And they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I actually did not get that same feeling until I saw Nia's immediate reaction. And I was like, oh, she's really upset about that. Like, I was like waiting for Janet to finish talking, and her getting so triggered by that, I think says a lot about how Nia and Danny like handle whatever issues, or if he doesn't have issues with alcohol, like I think you can see that Nia, this is a very touchy subject. Even just like putting the word out there seems to be very triggering for Nia. And it's sad because I hate to see Nia cry. But then I also see the other side where, like, for not so much Janet, but like Jasmine 100% has every right to be like, we need to address this.
Yeah, I did get mad though when Nia opened up and they were like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." And then she left and Jasmine really shit talked her. And I'm like, that is so mean. Girl just like cried about being homeless. And then on the after show, she was really mean. And I liked that Zach was like, he wasn't even at that dinner, but honestly, he like should have been included. He's basically
why
he's like with the girls, you know?
Yeah, why did they exclude him? I don't like that.
He's like, he wants to look at the cute chef and eat caviar.
I know.
But I thought that was just typical reality TV though. Like, oh, okay, we won't talk about behind your back. Bye. And then she leaves and they're like, can you believe that? And blah, blah, blah. But then on the after show when Jasmine was like, oh, I feel like she was crying for sympathy about being homeless. And I'm like,
no,
that is
that's a little
so
too
mean.
far.
Don't say that. Yeah. Don't say that aloud. That is so mean.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to be honest, Jasmine is like the least entertaining on that show. Like if I had to pick somebody to leave, like a couple, I would pick her. Like,
yeah, I see that, but I also feel like that might be editing, because I feel like they don't show her enough for us to be like, yes, I love Jasmine as much as I love Zach, because like we have seen way more of Zach than we have of Jasmine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like she's actually, I think she's very interesting, and I would like to see more, especially with her and her fiance. And I'm glad that we're seeing more this season. But in comparison to everyone else, I feel like if we did like a infographic or pie chart, I feel like she's got a sliver of screen time compared to the others.
Everyone is such a mess that it's like, they're like, no, these train wrecks are too juicy. You're like normal. We can't waste time filming you. Like you get along with your partner that you're a no. Like,
I know, you guys are so healthy.
Yeah. And that is like the one thing I didn't like, because I love Britney and I'm Britney stans, and this is her year. But the one thing when she was like saying to Nia, like, I share my whole life, you don't. For 10 years, you and Jax have kept a secret that he's addicted to cocaine. Like,
I know.
So you actually haven't been sharing your whole life story? Technically.
Like she only just opened up and she's like, why am I doing this? No one else is. Yeah, that was pretty absurd in my opinion.
And it's like, I don't know these people personally. Like Danny could have like a dark side Danny. Like, I don't know. But it's like, I truly do think they're in that little apartment. They got 3 under 3, his famous tagline.
I know.
He just wanted to let loose. I mean, Kristen was drunk. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, yeah, a little weird. He was chugging the tequila in the closet. That was a little weird.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't think he's like, has to be like an alcoholic for just being on a paid vacation and getting drunk and then like falling asleep. Like at least he was falling
Yeah.
asleep and not doing something like bad.
Yeah, no, for real. I think there's a difference between being like an alcoholic and abusing alcohol. And maybe that's
Yeah.
just me personally because I know that I have abused alcohol and that's why I quit drinking, but I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic. But maybe other people would call me an alcoholic. So I don't know. Like that's like I don't know. Whenever I have posted about sobriety or alcoholism, people get so upset over the rules and like, you're supposed to do this if you're an addict and you're supposed to do this if you're an alcoholic. And it's like, I didn't like how that conversation was going. So I actually had a licensed substance abuse counselor on my show to talk about this. Actually came up during when James Kennedy was smoking weed. Remember, he quit drinking alcohol. Raquel wanted him to quit weed. And he's like, why? I like it or whatever. So I had this licensed substance abuse counselor come on and I asked him straight up, after, explaining to him who James Kennedy was, I'm like, should James quit smoking weed? And he said, the only person who can answer that is James. And that really stuck with me because I think that is true, that no one can really tell you have a problem. Like you're the only person who can really identify that. And because people, even if you are a complete wreck, like Jack Saylor, like it doesn't matter how many times we all say like, Jax, you're a mess. And I think this is what's happening. I don't think Jax is there yet where he's like, I really, really need to do the work. I think he's like sticking Band-Aids on and he's just like trying to do whatever he thinks he has to do to get people off his back, essentially. And I don't know. I think hopefully Jax gets there someday, but
he probably is a little bit more now because like what we're seeing on the show, I think the show made him go. And Brittany was like, you need to go get help. I'm going to file a restraining order. I'm going to like go get custody. And he knows she very well could.
Yeah.
Because of his substance abuse. So I think he went to this place to like you said, stick the Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
But then we've come to find out like then 6 months later, he actually went to like a
did
rehab.
he? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. But then
So he actually went again.
Does he claim he's sober right now?
Yeah. So remember when he did the hot mic with Alex Baskin? That was like what, in like March? So he was like, so in March, he said, I'm 83 days sober. And I went, the Valley was filmed last summer. So that means you went to this mental, because also he didn't go to rehab. Like I feel like Brittany kept calling it rehab. It's like he went to a mental health facility. So you be there for mental health, not necessarily abusing substances. So
it sounds like
he
a
did
Raquel thing. Is
Yeah,
that the place Raquel went to?
probably because he's in there freaking rage texting the whole time. And I heard on a podcast, I forget what podcast I was listening to. They said he could leave. Oh, Zach. He was on, I forget who he was on though. Oh, he was on Mention It All with Dylan. Zach said, I don't know what kind of Timu rehab this was, but he's like, he could leave whenever he wanted for certain amounts of time. So like he would go to the house.
No, that's scary. So is that why we saw Brittany still in like an Airbnb?
Yes. Because if not, my butt would have been out of that Airbnb with those ugly red couches and I would have been back in my house.
Oh, man. And eventually she does go back in the house, right? And Jax moves out.
Yes. Which is honestly, that just shows how selfish he is too. Because first of all, you're the one with the problem. So I think you should leave the house. But then also, she's the one in charge of Cruz. You don't want to disrupt a young child like that. And now that we've come to find out that he has autism, so change in like regular scheduling would be hard for him anyway. So it's like you should have left the house and let Cruz and Brittany stay there. Instead, you made your son leave too.
Yeah, it's just
and go to this house that he knows nothing about.
Yep. It's
Like
disgusting. I hate it, and I don't like what Jax is doing. I actually had high hopes for him, like,
mhm,
before the Valley started,
me too.
and it's just he's fumbling hard.
Yeah.
This is a flop. Whatever his plan was, it's not executing well, and he needs to pivot because, like I said, my hot take was we don't need Jax Taylor, not this
Yeah.
Jax Taylor at least. Like, I totally check out.
He said to, like, People also recently, he was like People Magazine, it's all my fault. I am not, like, monogamous. I never wanted to get married. Like, it's not Brittany. Like, I would have done this to anyone." And I'm like, "Y you're so annoying." Like,
I wanna
you're
be like,
just
"We
so
know.
annoying. Yeah, like, we know. But, like,
We know
to
you're
me,
awful."
I'm opposite. Like, no, I'm 34 and I'm like, "Thank God I'm married. I don't wanna be on these streets looking for, like, people." Like,
No, seriously.
opposite, especially when you have a kid. I
Right.
mean, you don't wanna break up. Like, that's why I do feel bad, like, Jesse and Michelle. Like, Jesse forced Michelle's hand. Like, I don't think she ever wanted this, but she couldn't stand him anymore. And then
Mhm.
now he wants to be sad about it. It's like, well, what'd you think was gonna happen?
Jesse is too familiar for me. I cannot stand him. Everything he
Yeah.
does makes me so angry because I can tell he's very conniving. He is
Mhm.
a covert type of abuser where he can make it seem like he's not doing anything in front of everyone, but behind the scenes, he is vile. And
Yeah.
I just don't trust him at all. And I'm giving Michelle a lot of passes because I'm like, I can't imagine dealing with someone like him. Like,
Yeah.
he's awful. And I
Yeah.
really do think he is still stuck on, like, he's upset that she left him. He's all
True.
worked up in the
Mhm.
minutia and all the details of this honey conspiracy. Like,
Oh my
dude,
god.
it's
He was,
fucking
like, doing
over.
equations, like, he
Yeah,
was
he's like,
like
"Wait a second," and it's like,
yeah.
"Dude, it's over. Why don't you try to figure out how to create the best life for Isabella and
Yeah.
yourself?" And
Like, I'm
why is he hooking up with this girl who's sleeping with some guy from Baywatch and saying he loves her? Like, what? That's
yeah.
so
And, like,
crazy.
who from Baywatch?
I know.
Like, we need to know.
I wanna
Like,
believe
who?
it's Zac Efron, like the movie
He's
Baywatch.
married, though.
Is Zac Efron married?
I think he
He
is. I
is?
thought he had, like, a long-term girlfriend. I don't
Oh,
keep up on him
me
regularly, but
neither. I just
people were
think
like,
it's
"We
funny to
don't think it's The Rock because he's married."
me.
I'm like,
Well,
"Is
like,
it David Hasselhoff?"
right? We have to know, like, is this old school Baywatch? Is this Baywatch the
Yeah.
movie? Wasn't there, like, a revamp? Did they do, like, a new
I, like,
generation?
think it's, like, the old Baywatch. I have
Wow,
a weird feeling it's, like, old Baywatch.
that's juicy.
I know. How do you feel about, like, so we got our first appearance from Sheena Shea, and we haven't gotten Lala yet, which makes it all the more weird that she's on, like, the after show. I'm like, "You're not even in the show yet."
So
How do you feel about them
weird.
appearing? Yeah.
Well, I definitely think it's weird that they're there for the after show, considering
Mhm.
we're how many episodes in now, and we haven't seen them on the show,
Yeah, like,
so why the
Sheena,
hell
like,
are they
just
there?
came on. Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah,
Brock's on the after show.
and
Yeah, that's
Schwartz
even weirder.
Schwartz is like
Schwartz is okay.
he's
Like
comfortable. He's like, I don't know, picking his toes or something on this after
yeah.
show. Cause like, why is he even there? He's chimed in like maybe once. And I'm like,
He was on, though, immediately. Remember when he did the weird consoling on Jack's back? Like, he was like,
oh
"Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
don't
right. Schwartz
should I
was
touch you?"
there.
Yeah.
That's right. His weird strong hand. Look at
Yeah.
my strong arm.
It almost, like, doesn't bother me as much that, like, Schwartz is there, but, like, Lala, you haven't even been on the show yet. And then Sheena, a little annoying as well. And Brock, I'm just like, why are you here?" Like
Brock was at Upfronts too. And I'm like, what show is he saying he's on? Because he's not a full cast member of the Valley, even though they're giving him a spot on the after show.
oh my god, I think Sheena met her match because I think he's like a miniature Sheena. Like, I don't know. He just reminds me of like grabbing limelight. I think he does love Sheena, but I think it was definitely strategic and purposeful that he met Sheena. Just like they're saying Janet became friends with these people. Of course. I mean, you could say that about Raquel and Allie. you know who James Kennedy is. You went to go see him DJ. But then maybe you
Giving
did
me-
actually fall in love with him and want to be with him, but you met him on purpose.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. And it's reminding me of Dakota from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. He said
Yes.
he wanted to date Taylor just for clout
Yeah.
and to
it's like,
learn about TikTok or something.
to learn about TikTok.
Can you imagine? I would be so mortified.
He's being honest.
Like, Taylor literally had a baby with this guy, and he's like, I wanted to learn about TikTok. Oh my God. Awful.
And a baby came out of it. And now we have a baby. People are
Dakota,
insane.
He's so crazy. He had a straight face when he goes, we were dry humping, talking about that other girl. Yeah,
Oh
like,
God.
how can anyone say dry humping with a straight face? It's so weird.
I know. And it's like, how old are we that you're doing this?
That's why I love watching anything Mormon related, because I'm like, these people are like aliens.
They are fascinating. It's like, remember that Amish show where they used to swap and like go into normal life?
Yeah. Isn't that like part of the, like, don't they get a chance to, and they get an option to like choose?
No, you're like not supposed. Well, that's how the show was, but like in tradition and like almost like rules of being Amish, if you like leave, you're supposed to be like banned and not welcome back.
Oh my God.
I know.
That's very Mormon-y.
We need to go back into Amish life. I feel like they're fascinating.
I am very fascinated by them.
Cause like, so we live like kind of close to like some Amish like places. We're like 20 minutes away and we'll get our pumpkins there and stuff. I'm just like, we're like staring at these people. They have no electricity. We roll up on our vehicles that they don't have. They don't have phones. They like were pestering my husband one year when we were there. They were like, what's the weather? And he's like looking at his phone. And then she's like, and tomorrow? And the
No.
next day? And the next day. And then we got in the car and my husband's like, she was like so weird. And I went, no, it's because she doesn't have any way to find out the weather. So she saw you with your like
God.
phone standing there with no shoes. Like they have like leather feet. And I'm like, it's just crazy. It's like different worlds colliding. Like they know that there's modern technology out there, but they choose to stay like stuck in that, like behind times. It's just crazy.
I know.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
Like
it's like
whenever
Mormons not having caffeine or coffee.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but you'll do ketamine? I don't get it.
Yeah, the rules. Or like Shane on Real Housewives of Orange County, he's Mormon.
Oh yeah. Does he drink?
Because he doesn't drink. He
Wait,
always
he has
has
a
like a
big
soda.
gulp, right?
He always has a soda.
Oh yeah, you're allowed to have soda.
Yeah.
But there's caffeine in some soda.
Maybe he's having caffeine free.
Caffeine free Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Oh man. Those Mormons.
I know. I got to get like more into that show because I feel like that is wild TV.
It is wild. And there's so much. The thing with Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like you have to remember they started as a group on social media. So they're like, they didn't start from a show and then like do social media. They started on social media and then had a show. So a lot of their like post filming drama also goes on social media, and you have to like really keep up with it. If you, like they're in the weeds, they're in the comments, they're, you know, they're reposting stuff or making TikToks about each other. It's like, it's wild.
I mean, all these shows could be filmed like all year. If you think about it, like, I feel like we film these people on Bravo and then take this long hiatus on some of them, especially like the most, I think, Summerhouse, because we have to wait for the summer. Like, I think Beverly Hills is already filming again.
I don't know about
Don't
that
direct quote me. Or they're about to. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of just ended. I know. Do you hope for a whole new cast?
I hope that it just goes away.
It just fizzles out.
I hate that show so much.
That's sometimes how I've felt about Orange County, but I'm like, you know what? We're getting Gretchen. That should be interesting.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
God Alexis
I'm
Jesus Jugs is gone.
I don't know. I think it would have been funny to have Jesus Jugs one more season.
I can't do that to Shannon.
I know. That's the problem. Like,
She'd have a
Yeah.
nervous breakdown if she
And
didn't already last season.
yeah, and Shannon surprised me because I didn't think that she was gonna redeem herself. I really went into the season
I
like,
know.
I will never forgive Shannon ever again, but then
Yeah.
she redeemed herself. She did the complete opposite of what Karen Huger did.
Well, and I think like Tamra shot herself in the foot because I think she thought like, oh, everyone's gonna say like see that Shannon's like awful, so I'm gonna like double down on it. It's like, no, all we saw all season was you like badgering her and pestering her.
Yeah.
Current day Tamra has like blocked me on social media. Like
Wait,
she's
Tamra
like
blocked
Jax,
you?
I feel like. Yeah, because I made like a post and I put that. Remember when they were filming the season of Orange County? So I guess they're all done filming.
Yeah.
She like stormed out of the
Yeah.
trip and she
Quit.
said she was quitting.
Yeah.
So I put like allegedly Tamra Judge quits. It's not like I really put anything nasty. She put so not true and then like blocked me and I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
I
You know
know.
what's crazy? She blocked me once and then unblocked me. So
Perhaps she has unblocked me by now. I don't know. But I'm like, the fact that you are sitting at home and that post is bothering you, like, I'm not really saying anything bad.
yeah, allegedly. And even saying allegedly, I think is very generous considering she literally posted it herself.
Yeah, like, I'm done, I quit. It's like, okay.
I reposted that because I was like, Tamara posted this. Like, I just wanted to share the news.
I think it's gonna be like Gretchen got in her face at a dinner and was, like, really backing her into a corner, so she fled the scene.
Ooh.
Like that one year, remember she
Oh,
took her shoes off and was,
yeah.
like, running at a resort, like, barefoot?
You'll never
Like
see my face again. Or
yeah,
something
it's like,
that.
how many years later we're seeing your
Yeah.
face
No,
still
yeah,
again?
that is, I think, what happened. Something along those lines.
And Vicky said she's not gonna come on.
Yeah. I mean, she's got her podcast.
I know. She is just like good TV. Like, even if you like don't necessarily like her or like believe in her personal life and stuff, it's like she's just like raw organic TV. Like
Yeah.
she's just doesn't care. Like family van scenes. Like I just feel like I don't know. And to like not give her a contract and pay her, but we're paying like Gina. Like I like Gina, but it's like, I'd rather see Vicky. You know what I mean?
Same.
OG of the OC.
100%. Absolutely. I don't know why Gina's on this show at all. It's actually insulting, I
She's
think.
poor. I'm so mean, but I'm just like it's like I don't want to watch you. You're poor. Like
I
you have
don't
like
wanna
100 people living in a townhouse.
Yeah, like, and her glam is awful. It's so bad. Like, you
Well,
can't
and it's
show
like
up
stop
like
paying
that.
for glam and save money for a house.
It was so funny to me when she was mad at Jen Pedranti because Jen looked hot and she was still poor. Like, she's like, gosh, she doesn't even look like she's on hard times. Like, Gina, calm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, I wonder what's ever going to happen with Ryan with all that stuff.
I don't know. I'm definitely here for it.
My husband like pretty much thinks he's going to get in trouble because he supposedly withdrew the funds from that guy's account without his permission. That guy doesn't even speak English. He's a baseball player. So it's like, and I'll throw the word allegedly. Allegedly, Ryan and that guy we saw on the show that he was like, "Oh, this is my money launderer," and I'm like, "Oh my god, like don't joke." They were doing stuff and like pulled money out of his account, and there was like $2 million put into Ryan's account. It's like,
Oh no.
it seems weird. I think though he's gonna like agree to rat people out, and then he won't get in trouble.
An informant? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, kind of like on The
Or,
Sopranos when
get-
everyone like flips.
Get immunity or something?
I'd be like, if like I was in the mob and stuff, like my husband and I are always because we love The Sopranos. I'm like, no, I would rather just go to jail because you know the mob is gonna like murder you. So
Yeah.
it's like I'd rather just take my chances. I would come to Tony and I'd be like, hey, they want me to be an informant, but I don't want to. So you gotta like help me get out of jail and I won't rat.
Or make my life in jail very comfortable.
Yeah. Because I feel like they
Yeah,
lie to you and say you're gonna get in more trouble to scare you into ratting out, but it's like, nah, you could probably get out.
Yeah, but then you have to look over your shoulder all the time.
I know. That's what
That's
I mean.
too stressful.
I couldn't deal with all that.
No.
But I am kind of interested to see like this season what'll happen. And Tamara's the one that was like wearing that FBI hat and like doing all
Yeah.
that. But the second you mention that she doesn't talk to one of her kids, it's like the world is ending.
See, the thing for me, like with Tamara, I don't really pay attention to what she does that much anymore. Like I used to when she was newer, but because she's so seasoned, like
Yeah.
there's too much production behind it. And so for me, it's not very interesting. And in addition to that, her having two peas in a pod, I think creates somewhat of a conflict of interest in her role as a housewife. And I just feel like the way that she's evolved as a housewife does not lead her to be a good reality TV cast member anymore. Like she's too in it. She knows too much. Because for me personally, I want my reality TV stars to be out of touch, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, not a little bit, but a lot delusional usually.
Yeah.
But then also I don't want to cross any lines when it comes to like, ethics. Like I don't want to be taking advantage of people and be like, oh, let's watch these people who are so they don't even know what's going on. Like I don't want that to happen. So there has to be like a good balance. People who like kind of get the game, but like don't really care. Like someone like Meredith Marks, I think I like watching because she will go and be unhinged on camera. And then like, it doesn't really faze her at the next filming. She's just like, whatever. And then when people talk about her online, she's just like, she might clear something up and like pick and choose when she wants to like
get
into it. Yeah, get into it. But it's like usually she has these moments and then she'll just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that about Meredith. And I feel like it would make our shows like less toxic if we had more people like that who are just like really just chilling and like letting the cameras in. And if they're there, they see it. If they don't, then who cares? Like that's the kind of vibe I want. Not like, oh, the camera's coming. I better have this here so they get it in the background. And then, oh, I'm going to plant this online so that everyone thinks that. Like that is too much and it's exhausting.
Yeah. It's like, I really want to know. So we got the announcement that there's going to be a Real Housewives of Rhode Island. And Andy said it's going to be like Italian ladies. So I feel like it's almost just going to bulldoze and replace Jersey. And then I saw rumors that Dolores is going to move to be on it. But see, I don't like that. That's strange.
So weird, right?
I don't believe that.
Well,
do you think she would move?
So I did hear that she was moving, but I also read something that made it sound like Dolores is not going to be on the show. She's going to make an appearance on the show.
But it's like, why? Do you know someone?
Yeah, why is she moving to Rhode Island?
Yeah, because that's when it's not real. You know what I mean? It's like
weird.
I want friends. And it said like these people are friends. I already saw a couple pictures. So they definitely remind me like Jersey Italian. I'm like, I love that. But they're friends. And that's what we're getting away from some of these shows. That's why like the Valley's so good right now because they're friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not weird for them to hang out.
Yeah. Same with like Southern Hospitality. They're actually friends.
Yeah.
It makes
or like Southern Charm.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, Southern Charm is like that too.
Except JT. No one was friends with him. Like he was the one like rando.
Oh boy. Southern Charm was such a mess this past season, but I liked it.
I know. And then so at the end of Summerhouse, we got like the Paige and Craig stuff. So that's another thing. Not only do I go back and forth with Jesse and Lexi, I go back and forth with Craig and Paige because watching Southern Charm, I'm like, oh, Craig. But now watching this whole season of Summerhouse, I'm like, no, Paige. Like,
I know, me too. And I feel kind of bad now because before I was like, what is Paige doing? But that now I'm like, okay, Craig, you're exactly who I thought you were. And
Yeah.
I am mad that I even doubted myself because he's always been a compulsive liar.
I
And I even
know.
said, when he said that he had a ring, I kept tweeting. I'm like, I want to see the ring because I don't
Yeah,
believe
like,
it.
show us receipts.
Yes.
Wouldn't you?
You know that if Craig Conover got a ring, he would have taken so many pictures, and I'm sure he would have posted them too.
For sale on Facebook Marketplace. Brand new ring, never worn.
Oh my gosh. I was really happy to see Paige's reaction to that because I think that is a very manipulative move that guys do to girls. And normally, I think a girl who's not as like comfortable or strong or confident in herself would maybe be like, take a step back and be like, oh, well, maybe we should stay together. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That could maybe work on some people, but Paige is like, there's no ring.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Lindsay, there
exist.
is none. We will see none. I like when you said that. The other part that I would have said in the moment, if I was Paige, I'd be like, well, why'd you have it for a year? That's weird.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I get like, okay, it's done. Maybe I'll wait like in a month, we're going to go on a trip. So I'm going to wait and do it then.
Yeah.
But it's like, why did you have it for a whole calendar year? That's weird too.
Yeah.
Because I think if he actually would have proposed earlier, she would have said yes. Why'd you wait so damn long? And then, I mean, maybe now hindsight looking back, thank God he waited so long.
Right.
But it's like, I think last summer she would have said yes.
I
And then
kinda think
fast
so too.
forward to like this summer that we're seeing, she's like starting to get the ick from him. And then when she went on the tour,
Yeah.
that was like, I think he ruined her time,
Yeah.
which is sad.
It is sad. And I think this happens too often when you have someone like Paige in a relationship and a guy who sees her as a threat and doesn't support her in the way. Like, we need a ASAP Rocky who like lifts up Rihanna, lets her own the room. He knows his place and his time to shine. And he knows that when Rihanna is doing something, he needs to support her. And that's the way it should be, I feel like. But with Craig, it was like Paige nailed it. She said he wanted her to compromise too much and like would make her feel bad for not compromising.
I think the hardest part, like, she is busier, so I guess he would have had to move, but then it's like his show is filmed down there. He owns a home down there. That's a lot for him to give up too. I don't think they should have probably never even started dating because I think neither of them were ever going to leave because they're very rooted where they live. It's not like we're like the Housewives of New Jersey. They are like, 45 minutes, an hour from New York City. That you could make work.
Right.
But like they live so far away from each other and are so rooted and planted where they are that like I don't think anything was ever going to happen.
Same. When they got together, I was like, this is so dumb. This is so stupid. I hate it. Why are they doing this? This is just nonsense. They're wasting our time. And then when they broke up, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God.
Well, and to go from Andrea to Craigie.
It's just wrong.
Andrea kind of blew Paige off though, because remember she was like obsessed with him. She like called her mom. She's like, I think the love of my life is here. Like obviously being sarcastic and joking, but like Paige really had like a big crush on Andrea. And then he's like, no, I am texting other girls. Like, so he kind of like, I feel like was like not taking it seriously. But I think if he would have taken it a little more serious, like I could have seen them having a relationship.
They would have had an amazing relationship, I think.
Yeah, they would have summered in Italy.
Of course. And they would have been modeling together.
Like he lives in the city. So I'm like, that's like who you need. Like,
I know.
Guarantee her next guy is just going to be in the city.
What a ridiculous decision to go with Craig Conover.
I know. Who is originally from Delaware, where I'm from. So it's like, technically you're dating or going to marry someone from Delaware and you're a New York City girl. You're way cooler than us. So like just stick to the men there.
Well, actually she's originally from upstate, which is where I live.
Oh, that's where you are.
Her parents' house is, I believe, near my house. But it's funny because Paige lives in the city, but like I still get her like because she's from upstate. Like there
Yeah.
is a difference, and I don't know. I just like Paige so much better now that she's done with Craig.
I know. Was that really sad too that she said her dad 2 days after like the breakup, he's like, "Just calling to see how you are," and she's like, "Fine." And then he's like, "I feel like I got my daughter back. Like I can hear it in your
Yeah.
voice." Like that's really sad. It's probably because she was calling. She said she called her mom all the time during the tour. They're probably getting mad on Craig.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
remember she said in Italy when Craig went out to visit them, she was in Italy with her family or whatever.
Mhm,
Her and her brother were like just making
making
fun of
fun of
Craig
him.
the whole time.
I kind of like that. Like, but I feel like that's just her personality. And I feel like to the core, he didn't get her personality. Like, I think he was dead serious at the Southern Charm reunion. He was like, Andy, she said we could get married at BravoCon. It's like, why would you think she would ever want to do that? She's joking because that's the cheesiest thing ever. But then Andy was like, oh, no, please do that. Like, could you imagine if there was a wedding at BravoCon? I
I
actually would like
mean,
love that.
that would be a dream come true, but I think Craig knew that she was joking. I think he was just, I don't know. There's a little bit where there's a part of me that thinks that he knew she was joking, but also was just like kind of hopeful too, because I
Yeah.
don't think he wanted to break up with her. I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
glad
think it was like
he
he
did.
thought it was like a moment and then they were gonna get past it, and when he
Yeah.
saw her in person, it would, like, change because she broke up with him over the phone,
Yeah.
and then I think he thought like, "Oh, well, let me go here," and
Mhm. And
I
that's
do
when I
wanna
think
hear.
he said he had the ring or whatever. So
Yeah, and
he,
it's
like,
like, "Well, where is
planned it.
it?"
I
Yeah,
think
like,
he
bring it.
planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, this is, like, my last ditch effort."
Yeah, like, let's find the jewelry store supposedly he went to. Let's if it was in California, we knew it would have been, Kyle Chan because, like, he just, like, sponsors all their jewelry. Like, Luke just bought Kristen's ring. I was like, "This man needs no advertisement. He's just on the show with these people." Like,
Oh, Kyle.
but then I thought it was interesting that Lindsay told Amanda and Paige, like, Turner is so private that if she didn't
Mhm.
get pregnant, she thinks they wouldn't have lasted.
I know, that was pretty surprising.
And, I don't know how it's gonna work out because I don't think they're necessarily gonna, like, ask her to leave Summerhouse, but, like, Danielle basically was putting the nail in the coffin for her. She's like, "No, like, you're done." It's like, "All right, bitter Danielle, we all know you were fired, even though you like to say you left because 'cause you're a CEO and founder."
She's so
Like,
busy.
yeah, like, I could see Lindsay making appearances.
Mhm.
'Cause just think, she could come, she could rent another house, like, she doesn't have to
Yeah.
sleep there.
Hell no. I
I
wouldn't
think she
sleep
could
there.
transition to the Real Housewives of New York,
Mhm.
but then therefore, we have to see her partner. We have to.
Yeah. Also, I heard a rumor that there may be I know people were, like, speculating, but then there was, like, actual supporting information that may have, like, confirmed, but it's not confirmed, allegedly.
Mhm.
The 3 girls in the end, it was Amanda, Lindsay, and Paige may be doing, like, their own spinoff
Well,
in the
Paige
city.
did say, "Oh my god, I feel like we're like Sex in the City," and I'm like,
Yes.
"Yes, if we get Sierra, that'd be like 4 that'd be Sex in the
No,
City."
literally, I actually when I heard that rumor after I watched that scene, I was like, "Maybe that's why she said we're so like Sex in the City right now."
Yeah, or like Paige was being smart and planting it in Bravo.
Yeah,
Like,
or yeah, maybe she was manifesting it. She's very good
yeah,
at that,
yeah.
clearly.
I mean, I would watch that because I actually do like seeing them in the city too.
Oh, yeah, I actually like them in the city more, I think,
Yeah, because
because
like, the
there's
house,
actual
they're, like,
things
stuck.
to do. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the house, they're just like, "Oh, let's throw a party," and
It's like Groundhog's Day in the house
it
almost.
really
Like, they
is.
arrive Friday night, they maybe go to dinner, maybe,
Yeah.
or they get Uber Eats. That was, like, hugely sponsored, I feel like the friggin' Uber Eats. I know, it's getting hard because it's like we know these people are getting older, they can't do this type of show anymore, but, like, let's give them a more mature show because I'm so attached to them. I don't want
I
to not
know.
see them.
Yeah, I heard the spinoff is supposed to be similar to like The Valley, which to me is like Vanderpump Rules, the college years. I know.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you graduate. And so maybe this would, if there is a spinoff, it's kind of like the graduation of Summerhouse.
I would like that. And then I wonder
I
if they
would
would
too.
keep Jesse and West could stay on Summerhouse. I don't think Gabby will come. I don't think Gabby, Emerald, or Lexi will come back. I don't know though. Lexi has been all over the press, so I could see her coming back, but I don't think they'll have Jesse and Lexi come back.
Jesse and Lexi together?
Yeah, like I don't think they'll have both, and I think they would pick
Oh,
him over
really?
her, don't you think?
I think they
Or you
would
think they'll
pick
just have them
both.
both back and they don't care?
Yeah, because it
You
makes it
think?
more messy for another
That is
season.
true.
Lexi did really well, I think, because she was a brand new newbie with like she didn't have a sidekick. Bailey kind of bailed on her, pun
Mhm.
intended. And then she's so young, but she really held her own. She was very bold
Yeah.
and she kind of stands her ground. I think that's a good thing for a newbie. And so I would definitely, if I was casting, I would have her back. And I
Yeah.
would have Jesse back for the storyline because they have a
Yeah.
past, but I can't stand Jesse or West.
Kyle will have to come back, and maybe Amanda will do, like, the other show, and he'll just be on Summerhouse. Like, he was like, "I could do this forever," and I'm like, "We know, Kyle. Like,
Oh
you'll be
my
there in a
god.
wheelchair, basically.
Oh
We
my
know."
god. Seriously, how long is he going to be doing this stuff? What is his
That's why
plan?
I
What
thought
is
it
his
was, like
end goal? Does he want to be in the clubs DJing, passing out lover boys till he's 90 years old? Like what is his game plan?
think about it, though, like, it's like, these people w would be paying for a house maybe with friends on the weekends for the Hamptons, so it's like, he doesn't have to pay for the house, and he gets paid. So he's probably like, "Please never take that away from me. I need this free house."
Yeah, but like I feel like the other people at like that are his age, around the same age, they're not doing summer shares anymore. They're getting their own houses for their whole
I
families with their
know.
kids and stuff like that. So I feel like Kyle is just gonna be like a party boy forever.
I know, and him and Amanda are really like, I feel like we're gonna see it at the reunion. She's like, "I would be ready to have kids with someone that's ready to have kids," and it's like, it is true. It's like, "Kyle, you've just, like, found a new career. I I don't think you're ready to have kids either."
Yeah. He still like can't even make it into bed after
Yeah.
going out at night. Like that is a huge red flag. I wouldn't want to have a baby with him either.
He's like the Snooki of Summerhouse, though. So, like, I still watch, like, old Jersey or I mean, New Jersey Shore, and I'm like, honestly, thank God for, like, Snooki because a lot of them are boring, don't really drink anymore. She's still, like, having a meatball moment at all times, and Dina usually with her, but I'm like, Kyle is like Snooki, like, he's he's still there to rage just as hard as he did back in the day.
But Snooki seems like a good mom too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if Kyle is capable of that. I
Yeah.
hope he is, but I don't know if he is.
I know, and I mean, I think it's really responsible of Amanda to not get them in a situation and just be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay, let's have a baby,"
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like he's still acting this way.
Yeah. I need her to really just focus on her big boob bathing suit collection because
I
I
know.
need that.
I
I
want
need
one
help.
too, I know. We'll probably see them on her, like, this summer. Do you know what I
I
mean? Like,
hope
when they
so.
film this summer because it wasn't out when they filmed last season. That was just, like, the little mock-ups.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanna root for Amanda, but I didn't love her collaboration with whatever brand that was. Not because I don't like that brand, but I just felt like her designs were not for large breasts. They
Didn't
were
they have
very,
him at
like
South Moon Under?
yeah, they were, like, very spaghetti strap type of tops and,
Oh,
like, things that I just know I wouldn't even try them on
yeah.
'cause it would be digging into my shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would work for me. So I was kind of disappointed with that. I hope that we get more though.
I know, and Paige is like has a collab with DSW.
Paige is on fire right
She's
now.
killing it. She's paying that rent all by herself.
Yeah, if I were her, I wouldn't marry Craig either.
Yeah. But I guess that guy was never really like a boyfriend or hookup. I don't think she cheated on Craig, but remember the guy that she went
Joe
to the Super Bowl
D'Amelio.
with? Yeah, and I'm like, whatever happened to him?
Oh, so I actually was tracking their like social media activity after the breakup because
Mhm.
it was very foggy, right? During that
Yeah.
time, we got the announcement from Giggly Squad, and then a week later we got Craig's Instagram story or whatever, and there was a lot of pieces that were missing, and we heard from Paige now after seeing the finale that she was getting annihilated online,
Yeah.
and we saw some of that, but like it was hard to follow because the people who are cult followers of Giggly Squad, they take it and run. Like we can't even keep up with it. So
Yeah.
I was like trying to track what happened on what dates, like just facts. So I can
Yeah.
figure out like, are these rumors about Paige potentially DMing this guy who's engaged? Is that true? Did she cheat? Or is Craig just Craig?
Lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is he causing Paige to spiral because he like won't just easily say like, no, she didn't cheat or whatever,
Yeah.
which I thought was I mean, he doesn't owe her anything, but I do think he could have just said something. He knows the game. He knows how everything works.
Mhm.
And actually Kyle did make a good point last night, which I don't like saying because I don't like Kyle, but he did say Craig intentionally left out pieces that intentionally dragged things on in against Paige, essentially, like those cheating rumors. He didn't address them then. He didn't,
Yeah.
he
And
didn't.
she texted him and asked.
Yeah.
She said, "Hey, I'm like you said, getting annihilated. Can you just say?" All he had to do was like write under one thing and be like, "Not true,"
Yeah.
and
Because we
we would have circulated it for
yeah,
him. Like
exactly.
he
He
said,
knows
"No, I
people.
don't feel comfortable doing that at this time." Well,
That's
what time would you
wild.
like to do it?
That is a no. That is
Yeah.
Craig Conover talk for no, and he has no reason to not do it. He's just being difficult, I think.
I know.
And
He was probably like still being like upset. So, like, on one hand, I get it a little bit. Like, he's probably
yeah,
like, "I'm not doing you any favors. You just
right.
broke up with me."
Yeah, no, I
But
get
it's
that
like,
too.
come on, you guys aren't normal people.
Right.
You're in the limelight. Like, if it was normal life, I'd be like, "No, you're
Yeah.
fine."
Okay.
Like, no one's bothering you about it. You know what I mean? But it's like, no, like, people are probably, like, sending her death threats in her
Harassing.
DMs.
Yeah, for sure. Because I look back after watching, I could not figure out what day did they film that scene with the three of them where Lindsay's like pumping and
Oh,
she
wait, I
says
wrote it down.
it's
Hold on.
January 21st.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
January
look
21st.
back at my timeline because I was just trying to track the facts. And Paige had already been seen with Joe D'Amelio at that time. And Joe D'Amelio's fiance or ex-fiance had posted that thing about Paige, insinuating that Paige was trying to slide into Joe's DMs while he
Mhm.
was still engaged. And that was, I think, on like the 19th, it's the 17th or 19th. So I think because of that, that prompted Paige to call Bravo and be like, we need to film a scene from this breakup
Yeah.
because that was the peak of her getting all that hate, I think.
Yeah.
So I think for her, it was like, I need to get this on camera because you could tell Paige was distressed on social media after the
Yeah.
breakup and not like distressed, like, oh my God, I'm so sad over Craig, but like people are coming at her and like all these rumors are going around and it
Yeah.
definitely affected her. So it was just, I was like, I need to know the facts.
And it's hard because it's like, even though she knows it's not true, it's still upsetting and annoying.
Yeah. I mean, I think, what the hell? My cat, sorry. I hear my cat. What is she doing?
The cat wants to speak for Daphne,
Oh my
Paige's cat.
My cat is like making noise. Okay, sorry about that. Now I forgot what we're talking about.
Oh, I said that even though Paige knows it's not true, it's still like upsetting.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I actually thought that Paige would be less or more chill about it because I feel like she's seasoned as a reality TV star, but we haven't really seen a public breakup with her like this of this.
Yeah, because we didn't even know that other guy. Remember, like,
Harry,
yeah, we
I
never
think
met
Harry
him.
was the one. I don't know why.
He
I
had like
just
a
feel like
G-Wagon and would like send her roses all the time. I'm like, who's that?
yes, I know. Perry, where are you?
Yeah, come back. Andrea's taken, he's married, so.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think Perry is too.
Oh my God, say. She lost it. And
I
Hannah's
I
husband
don't
is like older, like, and he's not that cute. So like, we're not calling any of his friends for Paige.
no,
Like,
definitely not. I actually don't think Paige wants to get married. I don't
I think
think
she does
she
one day. It's just like is she the same age as me? I'm 34. I think she's 33. So it's like, I feel like city people do live like a little, like, they do stuff a little later.
yeah,
Like maybe she
for
won't even
sure.
get married till she's 40.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think she will get married. I think she's just, like, not on the train, like, to do it today, like Craig apparently was, but it's like I also don't think he was, like, maybe gonna get m like, "What do you want a kid tomorrow, Craig?" I don't also see that. I don't know. Like, he
I
just
think he
opened, like, a
does.
bar.
I know. Craig is a
But then
mess.
it's like, then he needs to find a woman that is not gonna work, which is fine. Like, I'm, like, a stay-at-home mom, but it's like, then Craig, you need to find that so you can go do everything you want and be on Bravo and live where you want, and she'll just follow you around and be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, whatever." Which is
Yeah,
fine, nothing against him for that, but, like, Paige was never gonna be like that.
exactly.
Even if she wasn't as busy as she is right now, like, even if Giggly Squad didn't exist, she still was never moving down there.
Yeah. I can never picture that.
Yeah. Even though she did say it last season of Southern Charm.
She did?
Not this season, the season before. She's like, "Yeah, if I ever moved down here, I would wanna make sure I have friends," and then that's when
Yeah.
she wanted to start getting to know Madison. So I'm like, "Why?" That is my one thing. Why did you ever say that? Ever?
I think she was entertaining the idea, but then as she got to know Craig more, she's like, "This guy is a liar."
Yeah.
I think they definitely had a connection. They had a spark, and that it
Yeah.
was hot and heavy, and that opened her mind to that possibility. But then when it actually was potentially about to come to fruition, she's like, "No, it's not for me."
Yeah. Like, run.
Which is
Running away.
good because I don't think like Amanda would have just gotten married.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Paige had the wherewithal to be like, no, this is not right.
Yeah. No, I like that. And now Craig has, like, a girlfriend, so it's like,
Yeah.
maybe she'll be the one.
Maybe she's pregnant right now.
Oh my god, people were like, "What if him and Naomi get back together?"
Oh no, I don't
And I was
want
like,
that.
"No." She, like, made fun of his sewing, but n
I
now
know.
look at it, like, with
I
all the
know.
tourists, like, maybe good thing she made fun of him because, like,
Yeah.
inspiration.
Yeah. Revenge. Revenge success.
Yeah, I am kinda curious, like, what she's up to in life. We need to do, like, check-ins on people that, like, aren't on the shows anymore. Like, do a whole hour special of, like, different people.
Yes. Or
Right.
maybe you can get them on your show. Interview
Oh,
them.
I know. Well, I, like, exchanged DMs for a while with Kim D, and then
D.
she's, like, friends with Teresa again, so I guess I'm like, doesn't
Oh,
matter. But see, if there's not a next season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, it doesn't matter.
exactly.
I
Yes.
still
Get
listen to,
her.
like, Melissa and Joe. I like when they do her podcast together, and she just talked all about Kathy, how, like, I guess they just had a lunch together.
Oh.
And Kathy had said, like, "Please don't talk about this. I don't want this used for clout," because, they live on the same street now.
Oh.
Kathy and Richie bought a house on Joe and Melissa Street, and they're like, I don't know if they're knocking the house down like Joe and Melissa did, or they're totally renovating it. I guess that's like a real good street. So people
Yes.
and locations. So people are just buying the houses and tearing them down for like the property. So Melissa was trying to, like, I feel like, make peace.
Mhm.
And she's like, I won't say anything that we had this lunch. And then Kathy went on a Page 6 podcast and said how her Melissa had lunch and she thinks it was fake. And I'm like, wait, what?
Kathy went on Page 6?
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, I need to dive more into this and like find this. But I did see a clip of her doing a podcast, but I didn't know that was like a recent lunch. So then when I listened to Melissa's podcast, I'm like, wait, you like recently met up with her? Because this is my like 2 cents. Joe and Melissa, like, remember how Teresa came out of jail and she's like, I want to cut the cancer out. I don't want to talk to Kathy and Rosie, aka like probably get them off the show. Melissa and Joe like wanted a relationship with Teresa because that's Joe's sister. So they kind of just followed along with that. And I feel like obviously now hindsight, they didn't think they would not talk to Teresa again. So they're thinking like, you are my cousin, but this is my sister. I'm going to side with my sister.
Right.
Well, they probably wish now that they didn't do that. And I think they would still be like close with Kathy and Richie.
And maybe they will again someday.
I know. I think like Kathy just kind of needs, because I always liked Kathy and I feel like she just needs to put herself in Joe's position. Like, what would you do? Like, you would side with your sibling over them.
Yeah. And she would want her children to do the same.
Yeah. I just think that's like, it's like wild that like Teresa's like, she's like just so angry and mad at Joe and Melissa. Like Gia just started a podcast and I listened to it a little bit and I saw a clip of Teresa on it. And she always says like that she never talks about them, but all they do is talk about her. Literally, she's talking about them. Like Gia reads her random questions and it's like, who always had fake storylines for the show? And she's like, well, like Melissa. And then she's like, the next question, who was like the most obsessed with being in the limelight? She's like, Melissa. And I'm like, oh my God, these questions are purposely focused around the answer being Melissa. Like,
well, Gia turned on them, right? Gia turned on Melissa and Joe.
I understand. I mean, that's her mom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really think that's weird, but I think it's really telling that they like Gia always trash talks them or does stuff with Teresa, like scenes. And even like Gabriella did a scene like before the wedding, like trash talking them. When is Joe and Melissa's kids doing that? They never say anything.
Yeah, I don't love that.
I don't like that. And I hate that like Gia's like, I'm not a child. Like in that one season, Joe's like, you're a child. I don't want to talk to you about this. She's like, I'm not a child. It's like, yes, legally you're not a child, but to them, you're a child. That's your aunt and uncle. You're a child.
Yeah. There's like respect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was raised by a Korean mother and respect is like huge. So I don't think adults, like an adult would even yell at their adult aunt or uncle. Like I can't see that happening in the Korean culture.
Yeah. And it's like Teresa always used to, it was almost a little brainwashing, if you want to say, to Gia, like when they were little, like she'd be like, you see me trying to try with Zia Joe, don't you?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
don't even talk to her about that. And then Joe Giudice would always badmouth them in front of the kids. And it's like, yeah, maybe one day they'll see the show, but like the fact that you're involving them on the show scenes, like I feel like Joe and Melissa never really did that with their kids. And that's why they always stayed out of it.
That whole franchise is a mess.
It's a mess. I know. And it's actually sad that it's come to that because it's like, I don't want them to not be on my screen. And I always liked Jersey the best because I just felt like the most relatable to them.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not related. Oh, really?
When it first started, I lived near them and I was like, oh my God, this is so weird.
You could have been on the show.
Oh, hell no. No.
With Danielle. I love how that like Jacqueline would always be like Danielle instead of Danielle. She'd be like, Danielle.
Beverly?
Yeah, like, oh my God. I watched the Hollywood Demon thing. Did you
Yes.
watch that?
Yes, I watched that. I did
And
not know
all
that
that?
guy, the informant, was actually married to Danielle and that he wrote Cop Without a Badge. I was like,
Yeah. I was like, yo, we're throwing it back to the OG that
yes,
wrote the book.
yes. I was like, no way. I cannot believe this is happening.
I
And
can't
he
believe an
said he
FBI
was,
informant married her.
I know. Well, he said she was the best sex of his life.
That's why I guess she was like engaged like 19 times. Like,
I guess she knows how to move her body, I guess.
she really it needs to be back on TV because like she's just like I don't know, she's perfect reality TV because she's just like a mess.
Did you see her on House of Villains season 1? She made a cameo and it was the most hilarious thing ever.
No.
She came in so House of Villains season 1 would have, like, these other well-known villains, Danielle's like a villain. They would come in for, like, 1 episode and, like, be the host of whatever game or challenge that they're doing that day, and Danielle came in. I don't even remember what the challenge was, but when they were done, Danielle wouldn't leave. Like the people who are in House of Villains, they
Love
live
that.
in the house that they're filming in. And Danielle was just a guest for that day, but wouldn't leave. They're like, okay, we're going to bed now. And she's like in their room talking to them.
Oh my God. Getting more TV airtime. Like
It was
maybe if
so
they like me
hilarious.
enough, I'll get to move in.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what she was thinking, but it was hilarious.
oh my God. Yeah. See, I would really like her to be back on the show, but it has gotten so toxic that it's like that would be like a lot if she came back on. But Teresa put her foot down and told Bravo, I will not film with Joe and Melissa. So, in my opinion, it's like, well, then we need to fire you because Joe and Melissa haven't
Yeah.
given us that ultimatum. And I'm sorry, I don't want to see a spinoff with creepy Louie. I don't. Because at first, that's what I really thought the route they were going to do. Like, all right, everyone will pretty much stay on the show and we'll give Teresa a spinoff and maybe Jennifer Aiden will come on sometimes, Dolores Catania. But it's like Jennifer Aiden is canceled after that Mike's
I
sandwich
never
thing.
watched that, but I did see the backlash.
She's terrible. So I think she's canceled. And no one, now that Louis, all these tax liens, and it's just like, we don't want to see you. Like, you're weird.
I stopped watching New Jersey, honestly, like around that time when Louis came into the picture, because I was like,
Yeah.
it was getting too toxic for me,
Yeah.
that whole franchise. Like, I think I saw people posting Melissa's daughter's cheerleading schedule or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is way, way too far.
That's weird.
That is crossing the line.
Well,
I
and
don't like
those
it.
accounts came out and said that like Teresa was having them post like bad stuff. So like I don't think those accounts are lying, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. See, that's messy stuff. Like, I don't want to be involved in that kind of stuff.
I know. That's when it's like, oh, okay, who's thinking about who more? Like you're obviously giving them way more energy because you're paying people to talk bad about them. That's like actually just goofy.
I don't like when the people on the shows try to manipulate the social media perspective or
Yeah.
general consensus. Like, that happens in Salt Lake City. It's annoying. I guess Beverly Hills has that. That's why I never liked Beverly Hills. And then I found out later on that happens. And I was like, that's probably one of the reasons why I hate that show. But also I
Yeah.
heard that they were doing it on Jersey. And now look at Jersey. It's a mess and we may never get it back. So
Yeah.
I feel like Bravo, I wish Bravo would have like some kind of handbook or guidelines that say
Yeah.
you are not to do XYZ online. And whatever those rules are, they can keep it to themselves. I don't care. But like they just need some hard lines. Like that would, I think, get rid of a lot of toxic behavior that goes on, not just with the cast, but like with the fandom and just all the
Mhm.
manipulation that goes on behind the scenes. It's like enough. It's exhausting. I don't think it adds to the show. I think it like makes it more laborious to watch the show, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now I got to keep up with what's going on here. And is this a facade or is this real information? It's just too much.
I know. I hate all the like bot, like fake stories. And I'm like, no.
So stupid. I don't want people like that on these shows. I don't want them to care enough to be like, I'm going to go plant a story or I'm going to pretend this is happening. Like, that's just so lame to me.
It's because at this point, fans are coming on the show because it's been on for so long.
I know. I hate that. I don't want that. And I feel like the newer generations of reality stars are like that. They're too produced because they know how the game works. And that was kind of like the beauty of reality TV when it, first started decades ago. Like, it was just very new and raw and nobody knew what was going on. So we got to see like a nice reflection of almost real life, like it'll never be real life because how can you have real life going on with a camera in your face and a whole production crew? But, back in the day, I feel like it was as real as we could possibly get. Now it's like highly produced and people are too aware of the cameras. And I think people like Tom Sandoval and Jax Taylor, I think it has caused people like them who have been on for a decade, I think it's caused them to think differently, to be honest.
Definitely.
Like the way that I don't think that they can just be real and relax in front of a camera. Everything is like already thought about ahead of time and everything's a performance. And you could see it with Tom Sandoval. And I didn't know until I met him in person. I was like, oh, this is like, he is like this.
Yeah.
This is not fake. He's really in his mind, like living a TV show all the time. And like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. They can't separate it.
Yeah. Can you imagine like every year for 10 years, you're going through this cycle of, okay, we're filming now. Then we have some time off. We go do our influencer things at, what is it called? Coachella and Stagecoach or whatever. And we're like little mini celebrities there. And we have this like tiny bit of famedom that's like boosting our egos off season. And then we come back and we're like, the show airs and everyone's like, oh, can I talk to you? And blah, 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 whatever. You have these, I don't know what females voluntarily want to sleep with any of these guys, but there's a lot of them apparently. And for guys,
that's definitely for a story though,
it's like, so, but guys don't care. And that's the thing, like that feeds their ego in a way that they have never experienced before, because for some reason, this like being on a TV show brings out these weirdos who feed the ego. And it's just this vicious cycle where like year after year doing this for 10 years, it just gets compounded. And 10 years later, we see them, they're like not even normal people anymore.
I know. No, they're not normal.
Like, what I like to compare it to, let's say Truman from the Truman Show left the set, the bubble, realize nobody gives a shit about what he does outside of the bubble, comes back to the bubble with a PR publicist or whatever, and is like, okay, everybody, this is what our storyline is now, and this is what I'm going to do. That's like, I feel like that's how Jax and Tom Sandoval they've evolved into someone like that.
For sure.
I mean, I'm not saying like there's something wrong with them. I think anyone in that situation would probably have a twisted and warped sense of reality going through that for so long.
Yeah. I know. And I feel like it's like what's Tom Sandoval going to do? Like Jax does have the Valley, but like, what's he going to do? He has this like bad cover band, but he will need to be on TV again. It's like Sheen and Lala. That's why they're like gripping at the Valley. Cause it's like, we need to be on TV. Like, what are they going to do if you think about it? Like they both have podcasts and they do like advertising and stuff like that. But it's like, that was their job.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I don't really love reality stars being on reality shows just for the money. For example, Carl Radke, I feel like he is only on Summerhouse for the money, because if you think
Truth.
about it, his career was working for Loverboy, who, you know, his boss is Kyle, his friend, who said on national television that Cocaine Carl forgot his laptop because he was high on cocaine. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not a really great reference
Like,
when you're trying to get another job.
yeah.
And things didn't work out with Loverboy, but then he started working with them again, but now he's doing his
Yeah.
own thing. I just feel like Carl, if he could have gotten a regular job outside of Loverboy and Summerhouse, he would have the room to do the internal healing that he needs to do, or that I think he needs to do. I don't know him, obviously. I don't know everything, but it
Yeah.
seems like it, based on like, we've seen him struggle with addiction issues. We've seen his brother passed away on Lindsay's birthday. Like, that was so sad,
I
so
know.
heartbreaking. And I don't think Carl has ever had a chance to really like just sit with himself and be Carl and be like, what is really going on that is making me so awkward and uncomfortable on, like, I don't think he should be on Summerhouse. I don't think that's a good environment for somebody who needs healing in that way.
I know. It's tough. And I don't think Soft Bar is gonna pan out.
He said it's opening August 1st.
Oh,
watch
okay.
party.
See, look, see, okay, we got an opening date.
He also said it's under construction. He said he has like a garage door coming down and like glass being put in. And all I could think was like, for what? What is the plan? What is the business plan? But yeah, he seems very excited. And I do wish him the best. I hope that Soft Bar is a success. Because
I know.
7 years is a long time
I
at
know.
$10,000 a month just for rent.
Yes. I know, we do wish him well. And thank you so much for coming back on the pod. This was so fun. I feel like we covered like so much. I loved it. We touched on all of our Bravo shows.
Yeah. I love all of it.
All things Bravo. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on social media at Bravo and Blaze, or on YouTube at Jenny Blaze. And my podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Got that vibe, makes 'em come alive. You're so